Radio has been on the air for a month. It's a community station and it hopes to get its full licence in the next year. If you follow me around here, we've got one of the station's executives dismantling one of the computers because it's their last day here. Rather sad. Here we have Gary King and Belinda. At the moment is Dave Carr. He's one of the station's radio presenters. He's in the middle of his afternoon show. Hi, Dave.
Hello.
We're not disturbing you, are we?
Not at all.
No. Now, Little Bird told me you worked for Radio Caroline. Is that right? What was it like working for them?
Well, to me, I mean, that sums up my radio career. I think that was brilliant because it has such a track record, and to be able to go and be a DJ on the radio station where it all began back in the early 60s, because before Caroline came along, obviously we were only left with the BBC.
When you say studios, is it on a boat? Because I didn't, is it?
Yes, it is. It's on a boat, a big boat, really.
Is it a really big boat? Not one that you
really
can
big
swim?
boat.
Yeah.
A few thousand tons, believe me, yes. The actual boat now, because the original one sank back in 1970, and we're just about to sink now. This
Right,
is coming to an end. Doctor and the Medics from the 1980s, and a cover version of Norman Greenbaum's hit, I forgot what I got to now, Spirit in the Sky, that's it. We've got so much going on here in the studio, believe me, it's absolute chaos. Normally we can only be heard and not seen, but there's people in here doing interviews, video cameras, etc. There's people bringing in teas and coffees, requests, fax machines. It's all completely and utterly out of control, but don't worry. While you listen to this next record, I'm going to enjoy this cup of coffee and continue this interview. This is the Rolling Stones.
Sorry, Dave, we really mucked it up for him there, didn't we? Sorry, no, that was great. So, do you have any favourite songs that you play? What's your favourite song? Or favourite group?
Well, I think really, because I'm getting a bit old now, I think it must be the Beatles for me. Because I was obviously a teenager in the 60s, and that was what we all grew up with. People of my age, that is. The Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Dave Clark 5, Searchers, to name but a few. So,
but I like the Beatles as well, actually. So, and I'm not as old as you.
Not as old as me.
No. But you're not old, Dave.
Well, you know, one or two grey hairs creeping in, but we try to keep them down nowadays.
Yeah.
But yes, I must admit, I suppose really I am more partial to the 60s music.
Yeah. How long does it take you to learn the actual? What's it called? This. You can see it, but
this is the mixer desk. In actual fact, doesn't take too long really. It's a bit like driving a car. But the main thing to do, obviously, before you start talking on the air, is to really learn what switch does what. Just practice moving the switches up and down to get familiar with that. Then try to bring the speech into it. It very quickly, really, to get the initial learning of it, but to be able to do it spontaneously does take considerably longer.
Yeah, because I mean, if you put me in front of it, it will be total chaos.
Oh, I'm sure it wouldn't. I'm sure it wouldn't.
Gary, you've been going for a month here. What do you hope to gain from being on air here in Burgess Hill?
Well, looking at the amount of people which have found the station very interesting, there's an awful lot of people who want us here full time, especially today being our last day. I hope that maybe in a year or 2 years we could be back here as a full-time station. No, there's never been a community radio station here when CSR was here for the last 28 days, and we're also here as another station named Let's Radio AM, which was at Christmas. This is the first time Burgess Hill and Hayward Heath had its very own radio station.
So do you hope to be back here for Christmas? I heard somebody saying maybe you could get another licence for a month at Christmas.
The earliest we would be back would be at Christmas. That's pending on how we feel this one has gone. I mean, this one has gone very, very well. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It's up to if we want to do another one at Christmas, or if we want to just concentrate on work in sort of preparation for maybe a full-time licence in the next couple of years.
Now, Gary, I know as well as being executive on the station, you're one of the radio presenters here, aren't you? When do you present? Which show do you present?
I do many.
Give it a plug.
Many shows. I do the weekdays, Wednesday to Friday, 7 till 10, and weekend breakfast, 6 till 10. So of course Friday night, Saturday, it's very tiring. So
early nights.
Early nights. Well, relatively early nights. Friday's difficult because I don't get home to bed till about 11 o'clock, and then it's up at like 4:30 in the morning. But today being the last day, I can have a lay-in tomorrow.
Oh, great, Gary. Yes, what kind of music do you play? Do you aim it at a certain person, certain age group?
I try to play a mixture of everything, 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. I'm not into rave and dance at all. I don't like rave and dance. I dance to dance music if I was at a nightclub, not on a radio station. And I think we found from doing this one, we've played an awful lot of not an awful lot, but we've had a good amount of golden oldies during the day.
Yeah.
There's no golden oldie station in this area, especially no golden oldie station on FM.
Yeah.
And the people who have written to us have said they've enjoyed the golden oldies.
Yeah.
It's been marvellous.
Yeah, I must admit, when I listen to it, I like that.
Yeah.
Dave Carr plays
Dave
them,
Carr,
all
Eric.
the DJs do. Yeah, it's really, really good,
brilliant.
yeah. Well, I do wish you luck. And I can see you've got a lot of petitions here from people. Have you been asking people to sign the petition form?
Yeah, we on air on our station announcements last week, we've asked people to come up and see us to sign our petition. Also questionnaires as well. We've got over hundreds of questionnaires and letters as well. We've had letters from people we don't know. We've had a few letters from people we do know,
Yeah.
but we've had letters from people we've never met before. Just how much they've enjoyed the station.
Yeah.
Thanks to them.
Yeah, well, I think they should get their licence. Central Sussex Radio in Burgess Hill. They well and truly deserve it. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Jo.
The station was actually erected in one day, which is no mean feat. I don't know whether you can see in there, we've got Dave Carr, radio presenter, on at the moment. He presents from 3 o'clock until 7 o'clock every day. I don't know whether you can pan round here. Central Sussex Radio is actually in the middle of a shopping centre, the Burgess Hill, the Market Shopping Place Centre in Burgess Hill. Central Sussex Radio is on air for 24 hours a day. It's based in the Burgess Hill Market Shopping Place Centre, and the music is blared out throughout the hours of shopping, which is quite nice for people that come into the centre here. It's now 7 o'clock, so there's only Waitrose open actually, so it gives it a slightly unjust view, because a lot of people do come through here. Up to 3,000 people shop here per day. This is Central Sussex Radio's last day on air. They've been broadcasting live from the Marketplace Shopping Centre in Burgess Hill. They're a community radio station and they hope to get a full licence in the next year.
Alan Slaney is the technical manager of Central Sussex Radio. Tune into 105.8 FM for Alan Slaney with Stephen Carpenter for Golden Oldies every Saturday night between 6 and 9 p.m. Moving on now to Alan Moulds. He's the marketing director of the radio station, and he's on every weekday morning for breakfast between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. And Gary King, the station programme manager of Central Sussex Radio. Gary King's on Saturdays and Sundays between 6 and 10 a.m. for the weekend breakfast show, and is also on Thursdays and Fridays between 7 and 10 in the. And finally, moving on to the last member of the station executive team, Dave Carr is the Assistant Marketing Director of Central Sussex Radio. If you tune into 105.8, you'll hear Dave Carr every weekday afternoon between 3 and 7 p.m. Jeff Perkins is controller of outside broadcast for Central Sussex Radio. He's on Saturday afternoons between 2 p.m. and 6 for CSR Sport and Leisure. He's also the person in charge of the successful outside broadcast at the Windmill Pub a couple of weeks ago during our charity weekend. Justin Hazelton, meanwhile, is on Sunday afternoons between 2 and 5:30 p.m, only on Central Sussex Radio. And finally, not finally actually, because there's several more to go, Alan Webber, that's me, heading our local news team. Central Sussex Radio News bulletins are produced every weekday afternoon from 1 p.m. From Bosnia to Burgess Hill and from Somalia to Staplefield, we're there with the news that matters to you. And you can join me for the news, or you could join me for the news, and on Sundays between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Moving on to Paul Martin, he's on every weekday morning between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. A veteran of such RSL radio stations as Sovereign FM and Eastbourne Local Radio, and also other radio stations in Hastings. Paul Martin is only on Central Sussex Radio at the moment, but not of course now because we've finished. Eric Scott, meanwhile, is on every weekday afternoon after Paul Martin between 1 and 3 p.m. for Afternoon Delight. Running through the other presenters on the station, Bob May is on Monday evening between 7 and 10:30 p.m. for the Central Sussex Pub Quiz. Nigel Mack, meanwhile, is the partner of Alan Moulds on The Breakfast Show every weekday morning between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Steve Watson is on Wednesday evenings between 10 and midnight for the best in reggae music. And finally, moving right along to Jim Burlong. We'll just go through a few little posters before we get to Jim. Here's Jim, every Thursday night between 10 p.m. and midnight for CSR Jazz.
And finally, one of the most popular newsreaders on the station, her name is Joanne Sale. She's absolutely stunning and very talented, and she wonders why her picture isn't up on the billboard with all you boys.
I then got bored, so Alan and I went walkabout around the shopping centre to see what else we could find.
Well, Noddy and I are having a pretty good time at the Burgess Hill Market Shopping Place Centre here. Noddy hasn't bought much yet. He's a bit of a miser, actually. He's a new boyfriend I've got. His car's a bit small, to be honest, but he's absolutely loaded. That's the reason why I'm with him. So I'm going to leave Noddy here now and have a look around the shopping centre, because actually only 50% of the units here are actually being used. They hope to expand on that, and they hope that people will be joining the shopping centre here, because it is a great complex. It's got a waterfall, it's got lifts, it's got escalators. I believe a Marks and Spencer's is going to be built here fairly soon. That's the kind of thing they need. I don't know whether you can see around here, they're also encouraging artists to paint murals. And we've got one here, which is part of the ancient village of Burgess Hill. It's rather good. It's been painted by the students here. Right, well, I put my money in and I'm waiting for my pictures to come through. They cost £2. They're all the same picture. It's a bit panicky, actually, because obviously being the same picture, if you're pulling a funny face or you're looking a bit odd, or more importantly, actually, if you've got the seat at the wrong level. Have you ever had that where, you have to get the seat at the right level, don't you? You look through the glass and you think, is it at the right level? Is it going to cut the top of my head off? But I'm hoping they will come through. It's for new passport photographs. Latest government cuts will mean that policemen will be riding around in vehicles like this. Admittedly, they are a bit small, but what they're going to do is cut down with the size of policemen. Normally it was minimum height of 6 foot. Now it's going to be maximum height of 5'5". As you can see, I fit in quite well, and I'm thinking of actually joining the police force if I'm not chosen to be a presenter on a programme. It's a rather cosy vehicle. It reaches speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. And it also has a rather nice jingle that goes with it. Unfortunately, I don't have any money with me, so I can't put the money in the slot here. It actually plays Hickory Dickory Dock. I don't quite know what that's to do with police force, but there we go. And it's Pirelli. They will, of course, be given alternatives. If they don't actually like the motorbike, then they will be given an engine like this. They can choose their name. This policeman has chosen Rio Grande. I don't know whether No, the bell doesn't work, I'm afraid. Once again, you do need money to put in the slot here. It costs 20p. You have to be at least under 5 stone, which I'm afraid I'm not. So I'm going to get out now because I think I might break it. These are all part of the Marketplace Shopping Centre in Burgess Hill. They have a play area, they have a waterfall, they even have a swimming pool, actually. And I don't know whether you can get it, we probably can't at the moment, we'll try and show you later. They've actually got a planetarium they're building. It's an open-air planetarium right at the top. And they're hoping that this will increase people's interest in Burgess Hill. The response by the public has been tremendous. Snap, isn't it? The response from the public has been tremendous. That's really naff. All right, that's fine. I'll just do that. That's a really naff thing to say, Joe. That was really, really naff. It's been painted by the students here at the college of the art college. Waffle, Joe. Okay, thanks. Oh, look, now we'll do one at the photographers. Are you still on? Yeah. Oh God, no, I didn't do that. And that's it, really. That's it, really.